Do you want to know how to keep your business on track and hit your goals faster? Today, I'm diving into the power of marketing scorecards. Join me to learn how to create a data-driven scorecard that aligns your marketing efforts with your business goals, helps you track progress, and drives growth. This simple tool will be a change maker for your business. Welcome to Brand for Good, the show for purpose-driven leaders who want to build timeless brands and create sustainable impact. I'm Lorraine Sugart, former PR and marketing executive turned founder of the disruptive agency Prosper for Purpose. I've worked with some of the world's most beloved brands, and I'm here to help you elevate your brand identity, visibility, influence, and impact. Are you ready to brand for good? Let's go. Hello, and welcome back to Brand for Good, the podcast where we explore how businesses can create positive impact while driving growth and revenue. I'm your host, Lorraine Sugart, founder of the agency Prosper for Purpose, and today's episode is all about one of the most effective tools for measuring progress and ensuring that you're on track to meet your goals, a marketing scorecard. I know it doesn't sound glamorous, but it's so important. And today we're going to cover why scorecards are essential, how to create the right scorecard for your business, and how to use it to drive and prioritize activities. We'll also discuss how focusing on the right metrics helps your business grow over time. So whether you're running a six-figure business or a multi-million-dollar company, this episode is packed with insights you can start using right away. Here we go. I want to begin by explaining what a scorecard actually is and why it's such a powerful tool for businesses. At its core, a business scorecard is a data-driven tool that helps you measure your progress towards your business goals by focusing on key performance indicators, or KPIs as they're known, over a set period of time. I like to think of it as a roadmap that shows you exactly where you are in your journey and whether you're on track to reach your destination. Scorecards are particularly useful for aligning your marketing efforts with your overall business objectives. So while dashboards are great for real-time monitoring, scorecards place emphasis on specific time periods, whether it's a week, a month, a quarter, or a year. This structured approach ensures that you and your team stay focused on what really matters and allows you to make adjustments as needed. For example, if your goal is to attract more visitors to your website, convert those visitors into leads, and ultimately transform those leads into customers, a scorecard will help you monitor these activities over time and ensure you're moving in the right direction. It's like having a built-in accountability system that keeps your team laser focused on the key drivers of success for your business. So now that you hopefully understand why scorecards are important, let's talk about how to create one that's tailored to your business needs. The first step is to identify your major business objectives, and fall is a great time to do that. Any time works. But for a lot of businesses and all of my clients, September, October is when we meet and start setting goals for the following year. So, identify your major business objectives. For many businesses, especially those who rely on marketing, you typically include goals like attracting visitors to your website, converting those visitors into leads, and turning those leads into paying customers. Once you have set your measurable objectives to help you achieve those overarching goals, the next step is to choose the right KPIs to measure your progress towards those goals. So let's just take website traffic. If you are looking to increase new visitors to your website, your KPI might be the number of unique visitors to your site each month, or even a month-to-month increase in the percentage of visitors. If your goal is focused on converting more leads, then your KPI could be the number of leads generated within a specific time period, whether it's through your website or other activities that you're doing in the marketing category. And of course, ultimately, the goal of every business is customer acquisition. So you'll want to track the number of new customers over time and where they came from. So, for example, if you're out speaking, appearing on podcasts, and using lead generation forms through your website, you'll want to be tracking the new leads and the new customers that come in from each of those acquisition channels. And that way you can see what is working well. So, for example, if you're going out and traveling to speak or meet with groups, but most of your leads are coming in through previous clients or your website or what have you, you can pull back on the things that aren't working so great or fix them, look at fixing them, and focus on the things that are. Now, KPIs alone aren't enough. A good scorecard also includes the goals or targets for each KPI. This gives you a clear benchmark for success. You know, there's an old saying, if you don't know where you're headed, any direction will get you there. So, for example, if you're tracking website visitors, which is just like low hanging fruit, right? We should all be tracking our website visitors. Your target might be to increase visits by 10% each month. That keeps your team focused on reaching specific milestones rather than just monitoring raw numbers. So you can say, okay, how are we going to increase that 10% each month? Is it being more active on social media? What are we doing there? Is it creating new lead magnets, holding webinars? You can actually track what matters and what's actually moving the needle towards your goals. Additionally, you'll want to focus on including the leading indicators. Those are the things, the metrics that predict future performance. So again, if you're tracking lead generation, a leading indicator might be the number of content downloads or webinar signups, as these are often signs of future conversions. Finally, it's important to break down the data by those specific time periods, whether it's weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually. I particularly like a monthly time period that we can monitor because week to week you can plug in those stats, but they're not really giving you a clear indication. It's just too narrowly focused. But month over month is a good one. And that allows you time to see, okay, this month we were up in our key performance indicators. Maybe the next month you're down a little bit. And so you're waiting for that third month to see, is this actually a trend that we're moving one way or another? Or was there one month that maybe was just unusual? Maybe it was July when most people are on vacation. So looking at these metrics and zeroing in on them monthly, but then looking at trends by quarter will get you on track to make sure you're taking the right paths forward to achieve those annual objectives and goals. Now, once you've created the scorecard, the next step is learning how to use it effectively. Basically, being able to stay nimble, adjusting your strategies, and moving forward so that you're not just watching what's happening, you're adapting. Scorecards aren't just about tracking progress, they are about driving action. So by regularly, and I look at this as monthly, reviewing your scorecard, you can quickly identify areas where you might be falling short and take immediate action to course correct. So if your website traffic is on target, for example, but your leads are actually lagging, that's a signal that it might be time to focus on optimizing your lead capture forms, improving your landing pages, or up-leveling your brand. One of the greatest benefits of a scorecard is that it helps you prioritize. Not all metrics are created equal, and focusing on the right KPIs can make the difference. By identifying which KPIs are lagging and which are on track, your team can allocate resources more effectively and avoid spreading efforts too thin. Why continue driving efforts to something that is not moving the needle? Let's take an example. If your scorecard again shows that traffic is high but leads are low, that tells you where to focus, optimizing the lead generation efforts. On the flip side, let's say your leads are strong, but customer acquisition is underperforming, then it's time to focus on the sales and the follow-ups, or even redefining your customer journey. And so, just from experience, when I work with customers on marketing, I tell them, the goal of marketing is to drive the leads, is to bring people into their orbit so that they can cultivate them and close them, especially when we're driving leads to phone calls or signing up for kind of virtual meetings to see if they're a good fit. If we are not working with them to create what happens once they get a lead, but we're driving the leads and they're not converting, that is a sales issue, not a marketing issue. We can address that. The line between marketing and sales is gray, and a good marketer can drive sales, but we have to be invited into that to do that. If we're bringing customers to your golden doors, but we don't know and don't have any ability to affect what happens when they go into those golden doors, then we can't help you drive sales. So it's really important to understand how far you want your marketing to go and how well your marketing and sales activities are working together. At the end of the day, what gets measured gets managed. Let me say that again. What gets measured gets managed. By focusing on the right metrics through your scorecard, you're ensuring that your business is continuously improving. And what we pay attention to grows, right? Scorecards provide not only a snapshot of how you're performing now, but it also over time gives you the historical data you need to spot trends. This kind of insight is truly invaluable when it comes to making strategic decisions about the future. In addition, when you track progress and celebrate milestones, you also create momentum. Your team feels that sense of achievement, which fosters more engagement and more motivation to do better. And this continuous focus on measuring what matters is what ultimately drives sustainable business growth. So, to reiterate, while it's not the most glamorous tool in your toolkit, a business scorecard is vital for aligning your marketing efforts with your overall business goals. It helps you track what matters, prioritize effectively, and course correct when needed. By focusing on the right metrics, you can drive growth and ensure that your business is always moving forward in the right direction. I encourage you to work with your team to start building your own scorecard today. And surprise, we've included an example in the show notes. Click below to download a template you can adapt and use. Measure what matters and watch your business grow. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Brand for Good. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe to the podcast, share it with your network, and please leave us a review. I'll see you next time as we continue exploring how to build successful, impactful brands. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Brand for Good show. If you like what you heard, please hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode, and leave a review so other purpose-driven leaders can find this valuable content. To learn more about building a brand for good, please visit prosperforpurpose.com for more resources and information on all the ways you can work with us.